A very good day to you and welcome to Housing TV News on Housing TV Africa, coming to you from our studios in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mary Agiobo. Our top stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu orders appointees to resign ahead of 2027. Federal government urges oil operators to boost production. Federal government moves to unlock 300 billion naira in dormant land assets. And on the foreign scene, Morocco holds interest rates steady. Now the news in details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed all political appointees seeking elected positions in the 2027 general elections to resign on or before March 31, 2026. The directive applies to ministers, heads of government agencies, and presidential aides and is aimed at ensuring compliance with electoral laws and promoting transparency in the political process. According to a circular issued by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the decision aligns with provisions of the Electoral Act and the timetable set by the Independent National Electoral Commission for party primaries. The presidency says the move is designed to prevent the misuse of public office and resources for political advantage. President Tinubu further noted that the directive will ensure a level playing field for all aspirants and strengthen the credibility of Nigeria's electoral process. The federal government has called on operators in Nigeria's oil and gas industry to accelerate efforts to boost crude oil production and take advantage of emerging opportunities in the global energy market. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Heineken Lopobiri made the call while speaking at a cross-industry meeting in London. Lopobiri said the government has implemented key reforms to create a stable and attractive investment climate and expect industry players to respond with increased production. He noted that the evolving global energy landscape presents a critical opportunity for Nigeria to strengthen its role in global supply, particularly amid developments in the Gulf region. The minister urged stakeholders to move beyond acknowledging the opportunity and commit to practical measures such as re-entry programs and in-field well development to boost output. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang has approved the immediate disengagement of 6 political appointees from his administration. Those affected include Timothy Golu, Watson Fom, Nanvo Rimboat, Nanim Langi, Paul Daktugum, and Nimchak Rims. In a related development, the governor also approved the suspension of John Bull Shekharau as chairman of the Plateau State House of Assembly Service Commission. The decision was announced in a statement signed by the secretary to the state government. However, no official reason was provided for the actions, although the governor expressed appreciation to the affected officials for their service to the state. Moving on to the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, warning Nigerians about the circulation of counterfeit versions of Fesgo 600 mg, a drug issued and used in the treatment of breast cancer. The agency said the alert followed reports from the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, where suspected fake injections were presented for administration. NAFDAC identified missing tamper evidence labels and noticeable differences in packaging as key indicators of the counterfeit products. The agency also revealed that a specific badge number has been linked to confirmed counterfeit cases in Nigeria and other countries. NAFDAC warned that counterfeit medicines pose serious health risks as they do not meet required standards for safety, quality, and effectiveness. The agency has, however, directed its officials nationwide to intensify surveillance and remove the products from circulation. Also in the health sector, the Nigerian Medical Association is facing a growing internal crisis following the controversial disqualification of presidential aspirant Ofem Enang. Members of the association have raised concerns over what they describe as a violation of due process and the organization's constitution. The Renaissance 2026 campaign team, led by Dr. Ezoke Epoke, accused the association of bypassing its own rules to exclude the candidate. The group insists that Enang met all constitutional requirements and submitted its nomination within the stipulated deadline. According to the campaign team, the association's constitution does not empower any individual or committee to arbitrarily disqualify a duly nominated candidate. Observers said the dispute raises broader concerns about transparency, fairness, and internal governance within the association. Let's take a break, and when we return, we take news stories from other sectors. Stay tuned.
This is Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Housing TV News at the hour, and now to the build sector. The federal government is set to unlock over 300 billion naira in dormant land assets through ongoing land administration reforms. The initiative is being implemented under the National Land Titling, Registration and Documentation Program. Officials said the program focuses on digitizing land records, improving transparency, and strengthening land ownership security. The government noted that poor documentation and fragmented land records have limited the potential of land assets across the country. Authorities said the reforms are expected to boost investment, improve land governance, and support the delivery of affordable housing nationwide. Moving on, the federal government has put Nigeria's housing deficit at 14.9 million units, highlighting the urgent need for large-scale housing delivery. The figure provided by the National Housing Data Technical Committee replaces earlier estimates and reflects a more data-driven assessment. Officials say rapid population growth and urbanization continue to drive housing demand across the country. Experts, however, warn that progress remains slow due to poor policy implementation and weak coordination across government levels. They stress that without sustained execution and accountability, efforts to address the housing crisis may yield limited results. The Kano State government has approved over 310 billion naira for housing, roads, and other infrastructure projects. The approval was granted during a State Executive Council meeting aimed at accelerating development across the state. A significant portion of the funds has been allocated to the construction of a 480-unit mass housing project known as Gida Gida Mega City. The council also approved funds for road bridge construction, energy infrastructure, and security facilities. Officials said the projects are expected to boost economic activity and improve living conditions for residents. And now to the foreign scene. Morocco's central bank has maintained its benchmark interest rate at 2.25%, citing a stable inflation outlook despite global uncertainties. The decision was announced following the bank's latest policy meeting, and officials say geopolitical tensions, particularly in the Gulf region, could pose risks through higher energy prices if prolonged. Despite these concerns, Morocco's economic outlook remains supported by expected growth in exports, remittances, tourism, and foreign investment. Meanwhile, foreign exchange reserves are projected to strengthen in the coming years, providing a buffer against external shocks. And finally, tensions in the Middle East have escalated after Iran announced plans to hold a state funeral for a senior security official killed in an Israeli airstrike. Iran has vowed retaliation, launching a series of missile attacks targeting Israeli territory. The strike reportedly caused casualties near Tel Aviv, while air defense systems and parts of the Gulf intercepted several incoming projectiles. The conflict has also spread to Lebanon, where Israeli forces carried out airstrikes in Beirut and others. Global concerns are mounting as the situation threatens regional stability and key energy routes, including the Strait of Hormuz. That's the size of our package today, but before we go, let's take a recap of stories that made the headlines. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu orders appointees to resign ahead of 2027. Federal government urges oil operators to boost production. Federal government moves to unlock 300 billion naira in dormant land assets. And on the foreign scene, Morocco holds interest rates steady. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV on all social media platforms. Download the Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. I am Mary Agiobo. Bye for now.